Yes. I was just kind of reading through this Bible, Luke 6. Yes. And it came to pass on the second Sabbath after the first that he went through the cornfields, and his disciples plucked the ears of corn and did eat, rubbing them in their hands. Yes. And certain of the Pharisees said unto them, Why do ye that which is not lawful to do on the Sabbath days? And Jesus answering them said, Have ye not read so much as this, what David did when himself was an hungered, and they which were with him, how he went into the house of God, and did take and eat the showbread, and gave also to them that were with him, which it is not lawful to eat, but for the priests alone? And he said unto them, Take that the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. Now in verse 6, it came to pass also on another Sabbath, that he entered into the synagogue and taught, and there was a man whose right hand was withered. And the scribes and Pharisees watched him, whether he would heal on the Sabbath day, that they might find an accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts, and said to the man which had the withered hand, Rise up and stand forth in the midst. And he arose and stood forth. And then said Jesus unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the Sabbath days to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it? Now this is the little e, right? And looking around about upon them, yeah. He said unto the man, Stretch forth thy hand. And he did so, and his hand was restored whole as the other. And they were filled with madness, and communed one with another what they might do to Jesus. Now, obviously, they did not like Jesus doing what was lawful on the Sabbath day. They didn't want him to do good, and they didn't want him to save life. They wanted the Sabbath day to do evil. Yes, to do what's unlawful. See, the religion wouldn't allow them to do good on the Sabbath. Man standing there with a withered hand, and these Pharisees that were watching him, whether or not he would heal. Yes, they wanted to accuse Jesus of wrongdoing. Now, those that are filled with madness, let's say you did let your armpit hairs grow and you decided to not use antiperspirant. Yes. You're an employee of a fast food restaurant. You decide, I'm just not going to shave underneath my armpits, and most women do. Yes. And I'm not going to use any antiperspirant so that when I'm working with the customers, yes, they might notice, yes, that you're sweating. Oh, now you wouldn't think that it would make a difference. Yes. Is it the antiperspirant that you use on an armpit that has been shaved numerous times? Yes. Or is it the antiperspirant on a male armpit that has not been shaved? Oh. Now, I don't use antiperspirant and I don't shave underneath my armpits. Yes. And a lot of people would say, well, there's something wrong with him. Yes. He doesn't use antiperspirant. Ouch. But I notice that I really don't notice my own smell. I mean, I don't, if I was to smell my armpits, let's say you put your nose under your armpits. Do you smell your own armpits, dog? Oh. Now, there are those that would say, well, we need to accuse Paul of some sort of crime. Yeah. So we'll make up a 2-count traffic citation. Yes, knowing that he wasn't there. Right. We'll make up the 2-count criminal complaint in Jefferson County, knowing he wasn't in Brennan. Yes. And then the coach and the superintendent, Governor Jay Inslee, presidential candidate with all the other 19 Democrat presidential candidates. I want every fucking one of you to know right now, I will rip your hair. I will rip your armpits out. Now, I did watch what the governor was saying on the court television. Yes. The state flag, the Washington state flag, it has certain colors on it. Yes. But in that interview about the districts having control of the finances of the schools, yes. And it's really up to the districts how they spend this taxpayer money. Pooh! Finding one district where the superintendent enriched herself at the exploitation of children, yes, would make me think that every school district should not have control of the actual finances of the taxes that are paid by those that are the population. Pooh! Now, let's say I had a different presidential candidate take on the use of taxpayer funds. Yes. And that your compensation should be equal to your responsibility. Yes. We could use the number of employees of the actual school district. Yes. We could use the number of students of the actual school district. Yes. And there is possible this automatic metric. Yes. Where you have a master's degree. Right. You have a certain number of years of experience. Yes. You have a certain number of students. Yes. And there is a certain amount of employees. Now, as the responsibility of superintendent increases, you have the availability of increasing your income because of your responsibility. Oh, oh. Now, I know Washington State passed a law where it's all your decision making as local school districts on how you use these taxpayer monies. But knowing of the exploitation of children there, and knowing the coach enriching himself at the exploitation of my sons being in the wrong grades, yeah, I think that we should have statewide metrics that decide your actual income as principals, as superintendents, and civil rights coordinators, poop, and your compensation is equal to the amount of your responsibility. Yes. Now, this is a standardized income for those that are employees of school districts where they don't get to decide. Poop. Now, let's say you're in the Spokane School District. Right. And there's probably multiple school districts because I emailed them. Yes, he did. And based upon this number of students, this number of employees, your academic record, and your years of experience, you can receive this income. Yes. And after you get over certain thresholds, your income can increase or decrease because of the amount of responsibility you have. Now, as a presidential candidate, the use of blue and white to represent the state flag, I say, would violate the state constitution. Now, Governor Jay Inslee might have chosen his actual campaign colors. Yes. But when I saw this big blue and white representation of the Washington state flag, yes, I think I'm going to sue him. Poop! For using anything to represent the state flag and the state emblem. Now, maybe as governor, you'll understand right now. I'm going to want your armpits today, okay? And if I have to rip your armpit hairs out, I will rip that hair out. Now, if you're an employee, yes, my suggestion is, as a woman, yeah, don't shave. Just let her go for the next 3 to 6 months. Yes, don't use any perspirant. Poop. And I wanted to tell every presidential candidate, okay, if you change the actual flag of any state while running for president, it violates certain laws as it involves the use of the state emblems, the actual Washington. Now, I think I can get you on this, okay? You can't arbitrarily change the color scheme of any state flag of the United States of America because